Weatherology forecast. Right now it's 29.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show from my home studio, the Saginaw Spirit Home Studio, and our program brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, 989-295-7713. Put you in touch with Linda Shepard for all of your real estate needs. We're going to have open phones for you later on this morning, and on Focus, we'll focus on Roofmaxx, but for the first part of this hour anyway, we're going to catch up with things happening in Bay City, and we do that with the city manager of Bay City. We say good morning to Dana Muscott. Dana, good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to be with you this morning. Normally, I would ask you what's new in Bay City, but I'm not going to this morning because I have a list of things.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I can't wait.
Yeah, neither can I. Let's start with some things that have been in the news. Money for mass transit. Bay City is going to get money for mass transit, and I'm not sure, is it the city or the county that's going to get the money?
Are you talking about the money from the federal government, or are you talking about the ARPA funds that we're looking into using for transportation?
Well, let's talk about both since you brought it up.
All right, sure. So I think the transportation that you're talking about is the federal money, and I believe the county is going to be getting that money. If you're talking about like the extension of like trains or rail, things like that, or are you talking about the road money that we're possibly getting for transit?
The road money, we're going to separate that out. I have that on my list.
Okay, all right. So let's go back. So the ARPA funds, we are doing a proposal to assist youth in getting to work. So it's like a workforce thing that we know that there's an issue in our county, and it's throughout the state, where most teenagers now are not turn 16. We've seen a trend that they don't do that anymore. Like when we were young, that was the first thing that we did. And they don't have a mode of transportation to get to a job, so they're not working. So we are coming up with an RFP to help get some of these ARPA funds out to help them get to their jobs. Working with Bay Metro, maybe some Uber drivers, things like that, to have funds available for these kids, that are between 16 and 20 that need a mode of transportation to get to work.
And when do you see this happening?
Well, we're just starting to put together this RFP. So it's probably, by the end of the year, we'll have something up and running. We've had joint discussions with Mr. Barsha at the county to kind of go in with us. Citywide issue, it's a county issue. Mm-hmm. So we want to address it, with the big lens to take care of our whole county.
Okay, so let's go to the roads. From what I understand, you're going to try and allocate $6 million of the ARPA money for roads.
We are, and I will tell you, we are very excited about that. And I can tell you our staff is excited as well. For years, obviously, we just haven't had the funds to put into our roads, and our road conditions are atrocious. I mean, I'm not going to hide that. We have, ratings of 10 that are nice roads to 1 that have failed the PASER schedule, and 87% of our streets are rated poor. We were putting all that money into the bridges and weren't able to get that money out into our streets. And so our city commission set aside about $6 million, and we are going to do some road improvements over the summer and into next year. So we're really excited about that.
Dana, I have to ask, originally, in the original rules for ARPA, the money couldn't be used for roads. Did the final rules change that?
You are 100% correct. And that when they came out with the rules, we were really disappointed that they didn't have, the allowance for us to do roads. And they did change some of the rulings, but what it allows us to do it is the final rule offers us a standard allowance for revenue loss. So we can take the revenue loss to our general fund and put it back into government services, which includes road projects. So it's kind of a way around it, but it's a legal way around it.
Yeah.
So it's streamlined the usage of those funds for roads.
As long as we're talking about roads, I had the opportunity to drive across the Liberty Bridge. That's moving along, isn't it?
Well, it is moving along, but it's closed right now.
Yeah.
Yes, and unfortunately, we had an issue, with some joint issues in there, and with the water, the soaking rain, and then we had, the freeze and the thaw cycle, which isn't just on the bridge; it's all over the place. It's all over the state of Michigan right now. So, up and they found that there's some really big damage in the joints on the north side of the bridge deck. So unfortunately, it has to be closed for safety reasons. And they plan to have that back open this summer when they can move, because they had one side already shut down and we're like redoing the deck already when this happened on the other side. So it was just really bad timing. But we have to remember that we have to be safe, and there's just no way that we can let people go over that bridge. So we're going to get it right, and Bridge Partners, Bay City Bridge Partners, is moving along to get that open by this summer.
Yeah, because when I went across, the north side lanes were open heading west. But I must have gone across just before they closed it, because it wasn't too long ago. And I was amazed at how much work the south side had. I mean, there was a deck missing, and they had it completely off.
Yeah.
So it's quite a project.
Yeah,
when are they going to start the other bridge, the Independence Bridge?
So they're going to start working on that probably when they get most of Liberty Bridge done, because honestly, we don't want to have both bridges going, at the same time. That would cause too much motion. In addition to that, the state is still looking at, doing Lafayette Bridge in a couple of years. So we've really got to coordinate these jobs, because we don't want to stop traffic, going over the bridges. So.
Yeah. Another thing on my list was money for qualified households for housing and utilities. Tell us about that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's another great program that came out of the ARPA funds. So we were able to set aside $1 million for assistance to residents in the city of Bay City to help with their mortgages, their rent, not only Bay City utilities, but also consumers, things like that. So they have to qualify as far as their income level. We've had, over 150 applications already to assist people. So, I mean, the need is out there in our community to help them. It has to be, of course, tied back to COVID issues, which is easy to do nowadays. So we are pushing that program along. We're making people aware of it more and more. 211 is pushing the program along with United Way, so we can help our residents. And the other thing that we added too that's is back taxes as well, if they weren't able to pay taxes during COVID, so property taxes. All right, so that's a bonus.
Dana, hang on. I've got to take a break, and we'll be back. We're talking to Dana Muscott. She is the city manager of Bay City. More ahead on the Art Lewis Show.
Annette Glenn pledged she'd fight to cut car insurance costs. She pushed legislation giving drivers more choice, reducing premiums. Coming soon, a $400 refund check. Annette Glenn got the job done. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
At Tub of Towels, we started with the toughest messes and quickly realized Tub of Towels heavy-duty cleaning wipes can clean just about anything, like stubborn brake dust, spilled paint, even permanent marker. There's literally thousands of uses. Proudly made in the USA with over 35,000 five-star reviews. Find Tub of Towels heavy-duty cleaning wipes at your local office. Depot, Lowe's, and more. Look for the big yellow tub.
Searching for fun ways to spend your tax return? Boats for cats. Oh, flotation devices for cats. Don't waste it all on something silly. Spend smarter with Straight Talk. Get our Silver Unlimited plan for $45 a month with unlimited high-speed data and 5 gigs of hotspot data on the nation's largest, most dependable networks with nationwide 5G. If you're looking to get the most out of your refund, your search ends here. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart and Walmart.com. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
People remember radio ads with a booming voice that emphasizes all the main points. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
That part is super important.
Here's one with a booming voice.
I'm emphasizing everything.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance.
Like a page with every word highlighted.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Americans were shopping again last month. Retail sales rose 3%. February, excluding motor vehicles, the increase was 0.2%. Import prices rose 1.4% in February. Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson will step down from his chief executive and board director roles April 4th. Johnson revealed his interest in retiring about a year ago. Former longtime CEO Howard Schultz will take over the company as interim CEO. Tesla is halting production at its Shanghai plant for 2 days. Reuters says the factory pause is because of rising COVID infections and local restrictions. China's markets rose after the government there pledged to support the economy. And today, the Federal Reserve is interest rates. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Any supplier can drop a box outside your door. But if you want a partner who delivers great customer service too, rely on Cintas. Your dedicated service reps can deliver what you need to help your business run smoothly. From essential cleaning products to hygienically cleaned apparel, fire protection services to first aid and safety supplies. That service you can't get from a box.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
News from Rocket Mortgage. You could unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In fact, in the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. That means you could unlock thousands of dollars. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could unlock all that cash in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up, because nobody knows how long these low rates will last. Put your hard-earned money to work. Make your life better. Build a home office. Remodel your kitchen. Or simply save that cash for a rainy day. Today's rate on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.25%, 3.48% APR, so you can lock in a great low monthly payment. When you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. That's 833-8ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. Rocket. Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. MLS ConsumerAccess.org number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show.
Oh my gosh, some people are now saying that complaining about gas prices is white privilege.
I thought it was Putin's fault.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, spending a few minutes chatting with the Bay City manager, Dana Muscott. And Dana, I didn't ask before because I have to think. Whoops.
Your fire, water, and storm damage restoration experts. Did you know mold can spread quickly and cause far more damage to your home than you think? Our professionals have the advanced tools and understanding to problems and take immediate action to protect your property and family. Regardless of what caused your mold infestation, our mold remediation experts have a solution and eliminate the problem. Visit ServiceMasterByFusen.com or call them at 989-200-4929. ServiceMaster by Fusen, restoring peace of mind.
That was my fat fingers at work. We're talking to Dana Muscott, Bay City manager. So Dana, I didn't ask before, what's new in Bay City?
Oh, well, I can tell you with the sun shining today, I think we're all getting excited about our events coming back, right, for the summer. So, we're getting ready as far as like cleaning up, downtown and on Midland Street and, getting the roads ready. But this weekend we have the St. Pat's Parade. So we're really excited about that coming back.
Yeah, it's going to be return to normalcy to some degree or another.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, they have a lot of entries this year for the parade, and the weather looks like it's supposed to be fairly well in the 50s. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of people out there this weekend.
I would imagine. And downtown doing well?
Downtown is doing very well. Like I said, they're getting ready to do the programming for the closure of the streets. They have lots of new ideas and, fresh ideas to do some things on there to get more people out and about. So they're pretty excited about that too.
How far along is the Uptown project, and particularly the exit ramp coming eastbound off of the bridge?
So we should see that exit ramp, opening up soon. We have a couple new businesses that are coming in that Mr. Shaheen will announce later that ramp is going to have to be open. So they're ramping up to do some new construction in that area. So people in Bay City will be pretty excited about what's coming. But other than that, the apartments and the townhomes, all of them are rented out, the new ones that are there, and it just looks beautiful over there right now.
It really did change the landscape of Bay City, didn't it?
It sure did. I mean, I can remember when I came here, over 20 years ago, and it was, the Brown Hoist was just getting cleaned up, and they were moving Bay Agri, huge parcel of ugly land sitting there. So it's just amazing what it looks like right now.
Yeah, quite an improvement for the city. That is for sure. Well, listen, we will let you go back to the business of Bay City, as you always do.
Okay.
And we'll chat with you again down the road. And thanks for joining us today.
Looking forward to it. Yes, have a great day.
You too, Dana. Thanks. Bye-bye now. Dana Muscott, and she is the city manager of Bay City, and a good one, to say the least. All right, we're going to move on now to open phones. Whatever you would like to chat about, 989-752-6111 is the number to call from almost anywhere, because I'm not charging you a long distance and roaming for the most part. Want to start out talking about something we chatted about a little bit on the morning team show. The Senate has approved a bill to make daylight savings time permanent. Now, this has been done before. It's not new. What is new about this, and what I had to look at twice, the vote was unanimous to approve daylight savings time, a permanent time across the United States. It's named the Sunshine Protection Act, and it would ensure Americans no longer have to change their clocks twice a year. So what do you think about that? We did a show a long time ago about daylight savings time versus standard time, and if you could only choose one, which one would it be? And if I remember right, we had sort of an even split on it. It wasn't unanimous. It wasn't everybody calling up and saying, oh, yeah, daylight savings time. Now, in my world, and again, I'm only looking at it from my viewpoints, where I don't have youngsters, I don't have children at home that I have to worry about taking out to the school bus and all of that. I prefer daylight savings time. I like the light in the evening hours, and I'm not as concerned about the morning hours. I understand if you have small children, you have to take out to a bus stop at 8 o'clock in the morning, you want light. But I have to say that from my standpoint, I would accept daylight savings time in a heartbeat. Senator Rick Scott of Florida has said changing the clock twice a year is outdated and unnecessary. And as I said, this has been tried before back in I think the 70s, and it didn't last but a couple of years. It will be interesting to see if this makes it through the House. Don't know why it wouldn't. If they had unanimous vote in the Senate, they're liable to get unanimous vote in the House. So I would expect to see it pass through the House. And if it passes with that big a vote margin, unanimous, it wouldn't matter whether the president wanted to sign it or not. If he vetoed it, they could override it. But the chances are, if it passes the House and the Senate, the president probably would sign it. Chris is in Saginaw. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
You and I talked about this quite a while back.
Yep.
And my comment at that time was a lot of people called in about, I asked the question, did anybody ever call in that they like to change in time? No one ever called in that they like to change in time, okay? Now, but as far as the kids going to school in the morning, a lot of the schools start early in the morning, and whether they go to standard time or daylight time, it's still dark when they get on the bus.
Yeah. But the other side of that is schools could change their time too, as I'm reminded here on my screen. If they could open an hour later, they could open an hour later and stay an hour later in the day. I mean, it was, this goes back, the notion of daylight savings time, as I understand it, goes back to agrarian days when everybody in the family worked the farm and they got as much daylight in as they could to work the farm. Times have changed. Those days are gone. So now it's just a matter of which one do you like more. So if you had to choose one, what would it be?
Well, I guess I don't. It doesn't matter to me either way. The only thing with me is go ahead and eliminate the change.
Well, wait a minute.
That's all
Yeah. Here's the thing, Chris. Think of how much more daylight you get at the Greek festival.
Yeah. I hate it when you write like that.
Oh.
Well then, hey, you put me down for daylight savings.
Okay, I thought so. All right, Chris.
Okay, Art. Thank you very much.
You bet. Bye-bye. Yeah, I knew who that was, and he's heavily involved in the Greek festival at St. Demetrius Greek Orthodox Church, and one of the great festivals that hopefully comes back. The last couple of years they'd had drive-through Euros, but hopefully with things settling down a little bit, maybe the Greek festival will return in full form, as many things are this year. Let's talk to Al in Midland before we take a break. Al, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
And I believe I'm going to agree with your previous caller. I just don't want to flip-flap back and forth twice a year. That's crazy. I have a bone to pick with Pat, though. I don't want to be on Central Time. I want to be on Eastern.
Yeah, me too.
We're close enough to the Eastern Time Zone when you get across to Lake Huron, and everybody else is on Eastern over there. And if we are on Central, think of how much we got to play with our watches every time we go in that direction.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I mean, I've grown up my entire life in the Eastern Time Zone, except for a small period of time when I was out west, and I am accustomed to the Eastern Time Zone, and I don't want to see that change. Right. I think that would be too disruptive.
Yeah, that would be very disruptive. If Pat has a problem with that, just tell him to adjust his schedule so that he's on he just can set his watch so he thinks he's on Central, and his hours are changed because he's on Central, so he has to come in earlier or later depending on whatever's happening, and he'll think he's on Central. It'll please everybody. So that's the way to fix that.
All right, but you don't have a favorite, whether you would prefer daylight or standard?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to me at all.
All right.
Whatever the majority wants, I'll be happy with. I just don't want to switch twice a year.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
It's crazy.
All right.
I got a relative that lives on the west side of the state. I got to tell you a little story.
Real quick.
He was down. He went down to the beach, Lake Michigan, and he told the wife he's going to be down there for an hour. Well, he was using his cell phone for his time, and while he was down there, it picked up the signal across the lake and changed his time on his cell phone. He was on Central.
He was there 2 hours.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. So
all right,
shows you what a crazy idea it is to be on Central.
All right, Al, I got to take a break. Thanks.
Have a nice morning, sir. Now.
Take care.
Bye now.
Bye now. Let me take a moment to talk to you about my friends at the Thalen Auto Group that I've chatted about for years now. I mean, there's something like 17 years I've been involved with the Thalen Auto Group. Great brothers, Pat, Joe, Mike, and right now the big thing is pre-owned vehicles. They have hundreds of them. Probably the largest selection in the Great Lakes Bay region, all in one place, because you have all those dealerships side by side with all their inventory. And they take these pre-owned vehicles and they inspect them. They bring them up to their standards before they ever put them on the lot. They also scour the market for additional cars meeting their exacting standards and put those on the lot. So you will find it is a one-stop shop for fully inspected used vehicles. The Thalen Auto Group, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. And you'll also find certified pre-owned vehicles from their marques: Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, Mazda, Honda, Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. So you don't have to spend days going from dealer to dealer. You can do it all in one place, and you can even do it online at thinkthalen.com and then sit down with a Thalen representative and drive away in the car of your dreams. The Thalen Auto Group, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, serving your automotive needs for the better part of 45 years. Thalen Auto Group.
When it comes to cereal disease protection, Prosaro Pro 400 SC fungicide from Bayer makes all the difference. With 3 effective active ingredients for overlapping control of foliar and head diseases and a flexible application window for head scab, it's formulated to lower DON and promote superior grain quality. Prosaro Pro. The future of plant health starts here. Visit prosaropro.com to learn more. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Hi, this is Jessica, and at United Financial Credit Union, we want to help you save money on your monthly payments. Right now, you can take advantage of our debt consolidation loan and combine those high-rate loans into one low-rate monthly payment. This year, focus on you. We're here to help you improve your financial health with our debt consolidation loans, free financial counseling, credit rebuilding options, and so much more. Call, click, or stop in to transfer to our debt consolidation loan today. Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. It's time for you to check out your local friendly credit union and see how we will put you first.
Some restrictions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Union. Serving the Valley community.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AC.
Mi Gente on Air.
His music is filled with passion and love equal to the legendary sonic charge of his guitar. The sound of Carlos Santana is one of the world's best-known musical signatures. I'm your host, Larry Rodarte, and this rock and roll legend, he joins me to discuss his 50-year career in captivating the world. Join us.
Mi Gente on Air, WSGW, and online, WSGW.com. Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, and Errol is with us this morning. Errol, good morning to you.
I've never understood daylight savings time and the other one because our leader in the sky set the time we ought to get out of bed or go to bed. We don't need any help doing that back and forth. And I'm probably one that don't even comment. I'm one of the people that if you tell me you want to meet me at 1:45 in the morning, I do not need an alarm clock to wake up soon enough to talk to you. I can wake up a half an hour before anything. I've never needed an alarm clock. I thought at first there was golfers that wanted daylight savings time, but apparently not.
I don't know golfers or anybody else. It's just for me anyway. I enjoy the late light, so I like it when it's lighter.
Yeah.
And in referring to Pat's Central Time Zone thing, that would put us on the eastern edge of the Central Time Zone. We'd lose light in the evening. I like the fact that we're on the western side of the time zone and we get that extra light in the evening.
It does. Yeah, when the sun goes down, I go in the house. But anyways, I'll give you a little short golf story. It's golf season's coming up, and you'll love this. This pro golfer that's on the PGA Tour from Chile, he played in a tournament here, and he thought, I'm going to have a little fun. He wanted to know how fast he could run his trip around. He shot his trip in 1 hour and 53 minutes, okay? He thought that was really good till he sat down to fill out his golf card. They handed him a fine of $10,000 for doing a prank round. So enjoy your golf, sir.
Thank you. I'll try not to do that.
Well, okay, I know. Ernie keeps track of your score.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me. Yeah, does he keep track when you leave the club on the
no
course and you take off? Oh, okay. You know how to stop that, don't you?
Bye.
Never club between the hole and the curb.
Thank you.
Art. Talk to you.
See you, Errol. Bye now. And let's continue on. Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. Art, I prior to 1970, or specifically probably 73, we were always on Eastern Standard Time all year round, and we never changed the clocks. And here's why we went on daylight saving time, had to change the clocks. If you remember back in, I think it was 73, or it might have been before that, but we had an energy crisis because the Middle East oil countries decided to shut off our oil back in the 70s, early 70s there, and you had long lines at, and so the
the only
Washington,
the thing about that was they shut off the oil and we had an energy crisis and gas prices went up to $1, I think, back then. But all the ships, all of the tanker ships were sitting off our coast loaded with fuel. Nobody could ever figure that out. Nobody could figure that out.
Absolutely. And I even called Osceola Oil Refinery in West Branch. I said, you got an oil shortage up there? They said, no. We got all the oil and gas you want. The question is, what are you willing to pay for it? But we'll never run out of oil. We got all the oil and gas you want.
Yep.
That was back in 73. But back to daylight saving time. The politicians in Washington decided, because of the oil crisis, energy crisis, we're going to have an extra. We want to save energy by having an extra hour of light at night, and that extra hour every day, 365 days a year, is going to save us X number of dollars in oil and gas consumption for our utilities. And that's how this whole thing started in the first place. That was the excuse they used for us to go on daylight saving time. Was the
Full time. You're talking about
oil
going on.
energy crisis in
Yeah,
73.
but you're
It
talking
was
about
administration.
You're talking about full-time daylight savings time, and it only lasted about
That's
2
right.
years. There was daylight savings time before that. There were places all over the
Well,
country that
that's how it got
switched.
started. That's how it got
That's
started.
how it got started as a permanent time. Daylight savings time was around before that.
Right, but we were always on Eastern Standard Time
In
here
Michigan.
in Michigan prior
Right,
to
in Michigan.
1970. We've never changed our clock.
Yeah,
ever. It
in
was
Michigan.
Eastern Standard all year round.
Right. Most of the rest of the country changed. Where I grew up, we
Right.
changed.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
that was
Right.
Michigan, and then the feds came
Right.
along and made daylight savings time as the official time, and that lasted about 2 years. And then when
Well,
that was over, you guys,
Politicians in Lansing decided that we're going to go on daylight saving time after that 2 years was over.
right, exactly,
And that was it.
and that was
Huh?
it. Then you joined the rest of the country, most
Right.
of the rest of the country.
Right.
All right, good enough.
That's how it all started.
All right, Paul.
But I'm
Thanks.
I'm for Eastern Standard Time all year round.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Thanks. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye bye now, and we'll be back with more.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight. His listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine Pancreatic Insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI. So don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
I need 4 more of the biscuit carnitas, 2 burnt end platters, 3.
The kitchen at Kai's Barbecue is firing on all cylinders.
Greg, help me bring this to the picnic counter.
He needs food runners who can hit the ground quickly.
86 on the chicken and we're short-staffed. Let's pick it up.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're
land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1025R compact tractor.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
And he lives up to the name as he uses his versatile tractor to make
the earth take the shape that I wanted to take.
And the Allens fire up their John Deere 3032E compact tractor to grow about 9 acres of flowers. Because the beauty of having land is deciding how to make it yours. There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSGW online poll, USA helping Ukraine. As the Russian attacks continue, there's questions of how the U.S. should support Ukraine. Even more, should we provide those missiles and airplanes or other equipment, whether it's direct or indirectly? Should we be concerned about doing anything with the fear of maybe some escalation of this already tense relationship?
A no-fly zone is escalatory and could prompt a war with Russia.
American strength is not the provocation. American weakness is.
So the poll question is, what do you think is the best way that the USA can support Ukraine? Tighten those sanctions even more. Provide those missiles and planes or equipment in whatever way necessary. Offer humanitarian aid only, trying to avoid the military conflict. Maybe you don't think we should support Ukraine at all, or you're not sure. We want you to go to WSW.com and scroll down the homepage and make your vote when you find the online.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Underneath for Dickens and a two-hand stump, and it's 37-24, Maize and Blue.
It's NCAA tournament time for the Michigan Wolverines. The Maize and Blue take on Colorado State in the opening round, live Thursday morning at 11:30 on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, and Russ is in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Good morning, Art. This is just another. Magicians have a shiny object, and they have you look at the shiny object while the other hand's doing something that they don't want you to look at. And I see this as just another shiny object. We got so much going on in our own nation. The world's on the brink of World War III, and what are we getting? A vote on daylight savings time? Really? What's next? Are they going to vote on what the national milkshake is? I mean, come on. We got far more important issues to be dealing with other than this. I mean, if we were in complete peacetime, we didn't have fentanyl overdoses all over the place. We didn't have the lowest employment participation rate in the history of the nation. We weren't on the brink of war. Fine. Then deal with stuff like that. But doing that in this time is completely shame on them. Shame on all of them.
Well, that's a view that's been expressed. I don't know that I agree with it because I think they can do multiple tasking.
But they don't.
Well, they don't in a bipartisan fashion. That's the one nice thing about this. It was unanimous. They finally found something to agree on. Maybe they can use that as a stepping stone. I doubt it, but
I don't know. We got to get our stuff together, or we aren't going to make it. This is silly. Study history. This is like the end of the Roman Empire. We're flushing down the toilet.
We've been there before and we survived.
Yeah, not like this. This is ridiculous.
All right.
They need to wake up. People need to wake up. Stop looking at the shiny objects and look at what they're doing with the other hand.
They're not doing anything with the other hand. That's the problem.
Well,
it's the problem.
They are. They're making themselves rich. 7 of the 10 richest counties in America surround Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Gee.
Been that way for a long time, though. Been that way for a long, long time.
It's ridiculous.
All right.
All they care about is their own wealth and power.
Good enough.
Thank you.
Thanks, Russ. Bye-bye. John is in Saginaw. John, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Hope you are.
Good. I called about this daylight savings time again. Listen to the conversation. I think that we conflate two issues. One issue is whether we switch, and then the next issue is whether we stay on daylight savings time or regular time.
Correct.
So I'm hearing the conversation. Yeah, we're going to switch. We're going to switch to daylight savings time, and I know people like the they like the light at the end of the day. But Chris Eastlick on TV5 said last night, do you realize if we stay permanent daylight savings time, Christmas morning, it doesn't get light till
9 a.m. Yeah.
So there's two separate issues, and they're conflated, and people talk like it's one. That's just my comment. We have to make.
No, it is. It is.
We want to switch.
No.
And then what do we switch
No,
to?
no, John. You're forgetting something. There is only one issue because that's the issue they voted on in the Senate. They voted for daylight savings time. That issue's been settled. If it goes through the House and the president signs it, it's a done issue.
I understand that, but the concern is that they've conflated the issue, and so be it. But at 9 o'clock in the morning on Christmas, I don't think people are going to say, "Boy, I didn't know this was going to happen." Well, I don't know who golfs. I don't know who golfs this time of year. I don't know who needs the daylight this time of year at night.
Yeah. All right. Good enough. John, I got to run. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Art. Bye.
All right. We'll be back to close out the hour. We'll continue with open phones next hour.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best. And Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialized in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolve A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers who donate their time to save lives.
Every human place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans. So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
All right, that's going to do it for this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. It's open phones next hour after the news. Speaking of that, coming up at the top of the hour, CBS News, the National, and the World Report. Then we'll have the local report for you. Everything up to date on the Great Lakes Bay region and the state of Michigan. Then your comments on our open phones coming up next after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Stacey Lynn on Capitol Hill.
where lawmakers greeted Ukrainian President Zelensky with a standing ovation.
Russia has turned the Ukrainian sky of death.
He made an emotional appeal to the American people.
Remember September the 11th, when evil tried to turn your cities in battlefield. Innocent people were attacked.
He pleaded for a no-fly zone and warplanes to help in their fight. He played a very graphic video showing the destruction, devastation, and death.
I'm Steve Fetterman at the Poland-Ukraine border. As the Russia-Ukraine peace talks continue, there are some potentially encouraging signs. Today, Russia's very influential Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said there is some hope in reaching a compromise. Part of any compromise could include a Ukraine commitment not to join NATO. Last night, President Zelensky indicated he accepts the fact that his country is not going to be part of any NATO alliance. Now, with more CBS News, here's Linda King.
Of the more than 2,000 people who died of COVID at an Illinois veterans home are suing. As the COVID lockdown kicked in 2 years ago this month, the disease eventually started spreading through the LaSalle, Illinois veterans home. 26 of the 27 veterans now listed in lawsuits died. The suits allege residents and staff who tested positive in the facility were not isolated. The daughter of one veteran saying they could have done better. A state inspector general's report found the deaths could have been prevented. CBS's Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. It's another lawsuit over police actions. Here's CBS's Jim Crisula.
A black man who sued the Independence, Missouri Police Department and several officers says police dash cam video supports his contention that he was racially profiled. 37-year-old Justin Layton was stopped for jaywalking in early 2020. He also says they repeatedly called him a racial slur.
Starbucks and the National Labor Relations Board remain at odds.
The agency alleges the company put supporters of unionizing efforts under surveillance and retaliated against them. The NLRB complaint filed yesterday says Starbucks has been interfering with, restraining, and coercing employees who are trying to unionize stores. The company calls the allegations categorically false.
CBS's Christopher Cruz. Retail sales are up slightly. The Commerce Department says Americans slowed their spending in February as prices for food, gasoline, and just about everything else started to climb. Retail sales increased to just 0.3% after a 4.9% jump in December to January. January's increase, the biggest jump since last March. This is CBS News.
If cold winter calls have turned into warm spring leads, you need Indeed, the all-in-one platform to interview, screen, and hire quality people. /credit.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Rick. I'm at the Smith home. Where's Donnie?
Leaves and autumn bookings pile up for Rick's gutter cleaning service.
He's out? Come on.
He needs help before his bottom line gets clogged.
Okay, well, what about Cristiano? We still got 6 houses today.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first. Conditions apply.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 33 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mark Kershaw. Jolt Credit Union has announced their newest branch expansion. Here is WSGW's Rick Antonio. We'll have that story for you coming up in just a moment. An Aranac County woman who passed away in 2018 at the age of 92 has left a lasting legacy for her community by establishing a college scholarship fund for Aranac County high school seniors. Mary Eileen Wyatt Burns never attended college education, according to her friends. She spent most of her life in Aranac County, where she served as secretary for the Aranac County Road Commission and later as secretary for a local physician. She was an avid historian who documented Aranac County and Aranac Township history for future generations and was dedicated to putting flags on veterans' graves in the Aranac Township Cemetery. The Mary Eileen Wyatt Scholarship Fund will be administered by Bay Area Community Foundation. A Genesee County teacher, known for encouraging her students to be learners for life, has been selected for an Excellence in Education Award from the Michigan Lottery. Kelly Sanborn is a middle school science teacher at Coonhaven Middle School, which is part of the Montrose Community Schools. College the awards, citing her dedication to students in and out of the classroom. She's been an educator for 32 years. The Excellence in Education Awards recognize outstanding public school teachers or educators across the state. Winners of the weekly award receive a plaque, a $1,500 cash prize, and a $500 grant to their classroom, school, or school district. One weekly winner will be selected as Educator of the Year, which comes with a $10,000 prize. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners, it's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Exceed your expectations of what makes a great paint or stain with Pittsburgh Paints and Stains from Menards. Now, all 11% off with some of the most advanced technology, like enhanced UV resistance, dirt shedding protection, and true one-coat coverage paint and primer in one. Finding your perfect paint or stain is easy. Get 11% off everything, including Pittsburgh Paints and Stains, now at Menards. Good through March 19th. Savings are mail and rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Now that story about Jolt Credit Union announcing the newest branch expansion with WSGW's Rick Antonio.
Branch located at the former Chemical Bank at 2106 North Saginaw Road will be their first site in the city of Midland. Ellen Watson, president and CEO of Jolt, says both members and non-members have been asking for a Midland Jolt branch. He says the new site aligns with the credit union's strategic plan to meet members where they need service the most while giving an opportunity to welcome more new members. Renovations to match Jolt's branding are expected to start soon, with a targeted opening date set for the first quarter of 2023. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
A small bit of relief at gas pumps today. AAA's daily gas gauge showing prices in Michigan have dropped for a second straight day to $4.22 per gallon, which is down 3 cents from a week ago. The lower prices are reported as the price of crude oil has gradually dropped. Analysts say if the trend holds, it may end some of the extreme increases we saw last week. In some areas of Metro Detroit, prices are now under $4 per gallon. Doctors say it's not just pregnant mothers who can benefit from the COVID-19 vaccine. Well, here's health reporter Dr. Deanna Lights.
All women of reproductive age should get the COVID-19 vaccine, and that includes pregnant women. Dr. Brian Torek is chief of obstetrics and gynecology at Beaumont Hospital, Troy.
The sooner they get vaccinated in the pregnancy, the more likelihood they're going to get a benefit from that as a mom, but also they can help the baby. If the vaccination occurs before 20 weeks of pregnancy, the mom can actually pass antibodies to the baby that will protect the babies up to 3 months after the baby is born.
A recent study finds babies continue to benefit from the vaccine 6 months after birth.
And babies that were born to moms who were vaccinated had a 60% decreased risk of needing to be hospitalized. So, we and we feel it's safe.
WSGW News Time, 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here is your WSGW Weatherology forecast. For today, we'll see partly sunny skies across the area with a high temperature into the upper 50s and winds staying for the southwest at about 5 to 10. For later on tonight, we'll see cloudy conditions with a low temperature around 42 and winds staying for the south between 10 and 15. For Thursday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a high temperature of 62 and winds from the southwest between 15 and 20. Later on Thursday night, we'll see a chance of light rain, otherwise cloudy conditions with a low temperature of 38. I'm meteorologist Nick Carlisle with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Right now it's 35.
The only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the Art Lewis Show from my Saginaw Spirit home studio, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, 989-295-7713. Gets Linda going to work for you and your residential and commercial real estate needs. Open phones this hour, whatever you'd like to chat about it, 989-752-6111. You heard in the news the price of gasoline has dropped a little bit. Oil is down 27% below its recent high. It's closed around $100 a barrel, a little less than $100 a barrel for both West Texas Intermediate crude and Brent crude. Brent being the global, West Texas being the U.S. standard. And a lot of it has to do with not just Russia, Ukraine, but China has reduced demand because they've closed some of their plants right now because of COVID. Russia, Ukraine does remain an issue, but supply and demand drives the price. And right now, anyway, the demand is down a little bit. West Texas Intermediate closed at 96.44 and Brent at 99.91 a barrel. So we have seen an ebbing of the price of oil. It was up to 130 at one time. Good. We'll all be happy when we see those gas prices go down. Oh my goodness. And, and those of us that heat with oil in our homes, we got a delivery the other day and it was $4.13 a gallon. And, it wasn't last year. I think it was at some points under $2 a barrel, a gallon for heating oil at home. So, everybody's feeling it and we all want to see it go down, as they say. By the way, this hour we'll also hear from Terry Henney. He's out at Maple Hill Nursery. We'll hear from him in just a little while. COVID not over, still there, but according to the CDC, America doesn't need to wear a mask. Should you listen or not? Personally, quicker I can get rid of the mask, the happier I am. And it appears that I won't have to wear it because I'm fully vaccinated, boosted, and all that good stuff. Next question I have is, am I going to require a fourth shot, a second booster? Pfizer-BioNTech requested the FDA authorization for just that, a fourth COVID vaccine for those of us 65 and older, because they say that the other booster in our age group wanes quicker than others. They did a study, and there was a study in Israel that showed the fourth dose improved your ability to ward off COVID-19. But what's also happened And we've seen this with the third booster. Only half of those eligible to get it have gotten it. So I would anticipate that if emergency use authorization is granted to Pfizer, it'll be even less than half that get the fourth booster. Now, I'll tell you right now, I'll be in line to get the fourth booster. I don't like taking chances. So I would get it. But that's me. Everybody has to make their own personal decision. Let's talk to Carol in Sheridan. Carol, good morning.
Good morning. I have a really big distrust of big companies. Just wondering if maybe the oil companies aren't kind of taking advantage of this opportunity to get as much money for oil as they possibly can.
Well, but it's a world commodity. I mean, it's driven by a marketplace. It's not that the oil companies don't wake up in the morning and say, okay, let's charge $100 a barrel today. It's a marketplace item on a commodity market. So the market drives it. And, you know, when people buy, it goes up. When people don't, it goes down. So it's a commodity just like wheat or corn or any other commodity that you can think of. So it's not necessarily controlled. Now, what they can control, of course, is the flow of oil and the amount of oil they pump out of the ground. And obviously, if they pump more and the supply goes up, the price goes down. So, yeah, they can control it that way, but they don't wake up in the morning and tell you what the price is going to be. The market does that.
But you don't think there's an opportunity for them to get as much as they can?
Well, obviously, when the market goes up, they can get as much as they can. If they're selling oil at $130 a barrel, they're making a lot of money. Absolutely.
Well, everything runs on scarcity. We frequent the auction sale, the produce auction. You know, if there's lots and lots of beans, they're cheaper. You know,
you got it.
If there's one basket, well, you know, everybody bids on it, and so it's you know, $10 for a peck. You know,
it's exactly the same.
But any of these big companies, I've never ever thought, you know, that they, and there's so many wells around here that are capped. They've drilled them for years. And then they'll say, oh, we didn't get nothing, then we're going to cap them.
Well, if you don't get anything, why would you, Carol, if you have a dry well, why would you pump it?
No. There's oil.
How do you know that?
Well, there's friends that work in the big oil business in Texas that I kind of know. Even though I act stupid, I know a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't think I know. But you know, if it's the chance that they can make more money, they aren't gonna. But there's many wells, and they won't tell you what they got.
Right,
There's an old lady, and they dug this well on her property, and they were gone the next day.
So let me ask you this, Carol. Let me ask you this. Let's assume for a moment you're correct, and they just want to make as much money as they can.
Well, of course.
All right, wait a minute. Wait. Since the price of oil is at $100 a barrel, where it used to be at 40, why wouldn't they uncap those wells and pump them if that's the case?
Well, they just know where they are. But yeah, because if they make more, if they have more oil, and then they'll have, less money.
Well, you got to have one way or the other. I mean, if they're making money off of us, they'd want to pump oil to sell it at this high price.
Well, it's going to take some doing to get them undone. But it's kind of funny that they said, well, I'm going to tell you tomorrow, and then in the middle of the night they pull out. We've had gushers around here, and they're trying to get these oil companies to pay taxes. There's a field over by Crystal, and they're trying to get them. They don't want to pay taxes on these oil companies. Don't want to pay. You know, it's a few $1,000s to the area. And they, you know, they're saying, well, we aren't going to pay your taxes and things. So you just wonder if they aren't taking advantage of this kind of oil supply.
Fair enough.
So, okie dokie.
All right, Carol. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Take
Behave
care.
yourself.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
And let's talk to Jeff in Bay City before we have to take a break.
Good morning, Art. Start off with declaring war on fossil fuel. That has a huge impact. When there was 9,000 You had 9,000 permits, but there used to be 16,000, which means that's 7,000 companies that went out of business because of the fact of all the extra hikes and fees and the put them through that they collapsed. On top of that, Granholm was in the state of Michigan on Friday over at the semiconductor plant. Says it costs $12 to fill your EV car. It costs $65 to fill up your gas car to go the same distance. $65 at $4.25 a gallon is 15 gallons of gas. Well, then I started doing a little check-in. The cheapest car in America right now is the Chevy Spark 2022, $14,000. The cheapest EV car in the country right now is the Nissan Leaf at $29,000, $2,000 for a home charger. That's $31,000. The Spark could go to, at today's inflated gas prices, for $31,000. At $2 a gallon, it could have went 325,000 miles. At $1 a gallon, like it was where gas was just before the pandemic hit, you could go 650,000 miles on that Spark before the Leaf ever left the parking lot.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. In today's market, you're comparing apples to oranges. It's just like the automobile when it came along at the turn of the century. You could compare the automobile to the horse, and the horse was cheaper to operate and all of that stuff. When electric vehicles become prominent, as you and I both know they're going to be, because they're going to be shoved down our throats whether we like them or not, you won't be having this conversation anymore because they will be more efficient. The batteries will give you more life, and the price of the electric cars will come down.
The price and with the batteries. As far as there was a show on TV, one of the cable shows, Auto Program, they were showing about dismantling a car and actually scrapping one out that was so many years old. And the downfall with the EV car is the batteries, when they do take and go bad, they're $1,500 to replace the batteries.
Yep.
There is no core on the battery because they have no way to get rid of the battery.
Yep.
End up with all these batteries in people's basements or something. But yet you got to ask yourself, if this stuff that it takes to make that battery is so expensive or is so worthy, why wouldn't they recycle it? But they're not, and they're not trying to. That's the part that is mind-boggling. You call up AutoZone, Advance, O'Reilly's, any big auto, parts store, and they'll tell you the batteries are totally ridiculous. They're selling them all the time, and just like your hand power tools, you buy a Ryobi or DeWalt or whoever brand, and at first it works really good, and then the more you charge it, the less it actually is good. In a couple of years.
Oh, I know that. I've got 3 DeWalt batteries downstairs that are useless now.
Yep, and they don't last, and that's the whole part with the EV car. If you really wanted to do better for society, utilize all of our resources, not go to war with one and say the other.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that.
The hybrids, the solar panels. Why isn't there solar panels on cars? You got the hoods, you got the roofs, hell, you got all the fenders. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You could utilize so much more.
All right.
Even with the wind, once the car starts moving. But, back to the Green New Deal, they're trying to get everybody to do all this. And at whose expense? The American dollar, All
right, I got to interrupt because I got to take a break here, but we'll talk more about it. Okay. Appreciate the call. Thanks for the input.
Yep.
Take care. Bye-bye now. We're going to take a break, and coming up after the break, we'll hear from Terry Henney, who's up at Maple Hill Nursery right after these notes.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened sharply higher. Today, the Federal Reserve for fighting inflation, China has revealed it will support its economy, and retail sales improved in February despite high inflation. The Fed is expected to start with a 0.25 percentage point increase in interest rates. Retail sales rose 0.3% last month as the Omicron impact faded. It's the largest jump in spending since last March when Americans were receiving stimulus checks. Starbucks shares are higher, even though its CEO Kevin Johnson will step down from his chief executive and board director roles April 4th. Johnson revealed his interest in retiring about a year ago. Longtime formers will take over the company on an interim basis. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Near historically low rates combined with rising home values means that you could have more home equity than you might imagine. And if you're considering a refi, an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot could save you thousands. Ask about our smart term loans, cash out, and over 300 loan options to find just the right mortgage loan for you. Call now, 866-888-LOAN, or go to loandepot.com. Loan Depot, where home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Equal housing opportunity lender. And MLS number 17. Licensed in all 50 states.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Good morning. We're broadcasting today from Maple Hill Nursery and Outdoor Living Center. We're located at 2672 North Eastman Road in Midland, just a stone's throw away from the Midland Mall. Right now, outdoor living is what it's all about. And of course, getting ready for spring as far as your nursery have to use in the front yard or the backyard. You can pick it up right now at Maple Hill. But first and foremost, it's all about outdoor living. That's what we're concentrating on today. That's what we'll be talking about. And right now, we're looking at a real good selection of outdoor furnishings. So whether you can pick it up right off of the showroom floor, which you can, or you can order it. Right now is the time, the best time, to be taking a look at this outdoor living display that's available here at Maple Hill. And as we go through the morning, we'll tell you a little bit more about the ins and outs of what you can buy here. We're also, of course, on Facebook, and we'll be doing the farm program from here. Maple Hill Nursery, Monday through Friday from 8 until 6, Saturday 8 till 4.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to a participating business for your Mid-Michigan home improvement. The contest presented by HBA of Saginaw Home and Garden Show on WSGW. Simply head online to WSGW.com. Scroll down the homepage and find the contest box. And when you enter, you choose the business that you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you are the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Bay Landscaping, Thumb Bank and Trust, Roofmaxx, M&R Garage Doors and Openers, Premier Concrete Admixtures, Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Maple Hill Nursery, Will Files Ace Hardware, Delta Door Sales, Cranes, L&M Appliance, Bartell Heating and Cooling, Vassar Building Center, A Plus Plumbing and Mechanical, Members First Credit Union, the Gick Nursery and Garden Center, Freeland Marketplace. Deadline to enter is March 25th. The Mid-Michigan Home Improvement Contest presented by HBA of Saginaw Home and Garden Show on WSGW.com.
All right, we're back here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones. Mark says he's in Standish today. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
All right.
Hey, I wanted to spin off on the other gentleman that called in regards to the EV, electric vehicles.
Yep.
My concern is there's got to be a threshold that it appeals to, younger people, middle-aged people, working people that can afford the vehicles. My concern is all the people that are on SSI, disability, or some sort of fixed income at retirement age on afford the electric vehicle, the electric hookup, and all these other things that go along with owning an electric vehicle.
Knowing government the way we know government, I would expect that there will be some kind of subsidy that comes along that will alleviate some of that financial pain at some point in time.
Well, yeah, my understanding is a lot of people that are on Social Security, even though they got a 4% increase with the inflation, are still behind the 8 ball as of today. I just don't see how, that burden being put on elderly people.
Well, is it really much different than having to put gas in an automobile you had to buy and insure? The chances are a lot of people can't afford that either.
Well, they can't afford the hookup. I mean, this electrical hookup was.
That's why I said I think there'll be a subsidy. I think government will come forward and offer them cash. It's time and time again we see that happen in various ways for various things, and I wouldn't doubt that that'll be among them. It's.
Hey, did you check? Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, oil. They're going to try to tax big oil and give everybody another stimulus check potentially.
Yeah. I doubt. I don't see it going anywhere either. I mean, I just think that's pie in the sky.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Good
enough, Mark. Have a good one. Take care. Bye now. And Gene is in Bay City. Gene, good morning.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Watching Zelensky on television. It's a really, really depressing situation. I think we've made major mistakes in electing these old men as presidents. When Trump was in, Ukraine was asking for defense weapons and so on, and he got diddly, not much anything. Then Biden got in. Now, I'm a Democrat, but I am not happy with Biden right now. Biden knew Putin. He knew what kind of man he was. All those troops being moved over to the Ukraine border, that was the time that we should have sent in planes and defense weapons and everything. Instead of doing anything, like I say, I think these old men piddle-paddle around and don't get things done ahead of time. And look to, he should have known it was.
Well, they did send, I will say one thing. They did send some defensive missiles and things of that nature to the Ukraine before Russia invaded. While the troops were building up on the border, he did send some things in, but not, I personally, I would favor the no-fly zone, and I would favor Poland sending in their MiGs and we replacing them with F-16s. I would favor that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know. When this first started, they might have been able to stop it. If they would have let Ukraine into NATO a long time ago, Putin might not have done this. And then the second thing is, I don't know. As I said, I think having these old men as presidents is a mistake.
Well, vote for young ones the next time. What can I tell you? I understand what you're saying.
I'm a Democrat, but I liked Romney. And Pence, religious men that were smart. And I don't know, you get these old guys in there, and they're too slow.
Yeah.
You got to think ahead and see what's going to happen. And,
well, maybe in the next election we'll see some younger candidates. Who knows?
I hope so. But they're at the beginning. Putin was power hungry.
Still is.
But now things didn't go the way he thought it.
Yep.
there was a very, very slight chance of him going to nuclear weapons. But now he's not just power hungry. Now he's furious because things haven't gone the way he wanted. And now he's full of vengeance, and he wants to kill all the Ukrainians, children and all. And now he's way more dangerous. Now he's got Chernobyl and this other nuclear plant. And now there's even a larger chance that he might go nuclear.
Yep.
And, you know, I don't know. These old guys, they don't do things at the beginning. They wait.
Yeah, well. All right. Gene, I got to go. I got to take a break, but I appreciate it. Appreciate your thoughts.
Thanks for listening. God bless.
You bet. You too. Bye-bye now. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back with more on the Art Lewis Show.
The HBA of Saginaw Home and Garden Show is back, sponsored by Builders First Source and partnered with the Saginaw Valley Nursery and Landscape Association. Our exhibitors help make your renovation, your new build, or your landscape project a breeze. There are raffles, prize giveaways, a scavenger hunt, student showcase, grab lunch at Cafe Corner, visit the open job board in the career booth, and enjoy educational seminars on Saturday, March 19th from 9 till 7 and March 20th from 11 till 5 at the SVSU Rider Center. Visit SaginawHomeshow.com for more information.
To restore voter trust. Annette Glenn voted to require a photo ID to vote. Take dead people off the rolls. Make it illegal to connect voting machines to the internet. Force the Secretary of State to obey state law. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine Pancreatic Insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms: gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
To you, my love, my heart I surrender just as soon as I deal with yonder fender bender. Is the way I make cash, so I'll buy you a ring when I lose this dress rash.
Owning a small business isn't always as lovely as it sounds, but at least Progressive Commercial saves you money with personalized discounts. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
I'm gonna make you so happy sometime next year, I hope.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states. Policy terms and conditions apply.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Applied Training Solutions. You are going to get a CPL class from Applied Training Solutions for only $75. It's usually $150, but you are getting it half. This is necessary for anyone looking for the proper certification to apply for a concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan. You must be 21 or older. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and let's go back to our phones. Craig is in West Branch. Craig, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
We're doing very well. Hope you are.
I just got to send out a hello to Dale, my neighbor, because he's listening to me, and he's going to call me in a little bit and let me know how I did. But I just comment about the EV cars there.
Yeah.
I'm totally in favor of it. I think it's one of the greatest ideas coming down the pike. I think it's another example of American technology. If you would ask these people that don't like the idea, where do we set technology leaders. They're going to tell us America's the greatest. Well, then why not?
So let me ask this. Let me ask this of you, Craig.
Sure.
At what point do you decide to buy an EV? What kind of range, for example? Price? At what point does Craig wake up and say, okay, it's time I get into the EV game?
Well, Art, that's a good point, because I've never even owned a brand new car in my life. I'm the guy that buys the used car a couple of years later.
Yeah.
You know, if a good deal came along right now, I would do it now. I got to tell you about the experience a month ago. My friend and I were in Las Vegas, and we Ubered to get around town. And we got a chance to get in a car, electric car, with this lady. And she's, what a quick pickup to get on the freeway. We had tons of questions for her. And, you know, and she can drive a whole 8-hour shift and never deplete the battery. She goes home. She says, I can plug it into my dryer plug and charge it in 5 hours, or I can plug it into a simple 110 plug in my house. I didn't have to get those fancy charging stations or anything like that. Just plug it into a 110 in between 10 to 12 hours.
I was going to say, yeah. You have to have a lot of time.
Charge it needs.
Yep.
Well, it depends on how much of charge it.
Yep.
My gasoline truck sits in my garage all night.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hours.
Absolutely.
You know, she said her electric bill was not a big difference. And then what's the biggest thing you like? She says, I don't have to wait in line to get gasoline.
Yeah. And I don't care what the pump price is.
No. And then we got, later in the day, we got in another car, same size, and gasoline. And we start telling the guy about what we learned. And he goes, wow. He says, you know, I spend between $800 and $900 a month in fuel to do the same job, Ubering.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've had
that's a car payment.
I've had three experiences with electric cars, driving them, and I loved each one of them. They were great experiences. And when the range, I'm a range guy. When the range gets up to 400 or 500 miles, I'm ready. But
and you know it will.
It's going to go beyond that. It'll go beyond that.
You know, the one gentleman said something about younger people. I'm 65 years old. I grew up in the 70s. The only guy that had a wristwatch that can communicate with somebody else was Dick Tracy. And there was no way we were ever going to see that.
Yeah, right. Here we are today.
The guy that had 100,000 miles on his car was the hero of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about 100,000 being broke in.
Yep.
Come on, people.
Times changed.
Wake up.
All right.
I mean, you're talking about using power tools. My gosh, that's a great. Now we can walk out in the yard and put screws in the tree. I don't have to.
Well, they weren't talking. Yeah, but they weren't talking about the convenience. They were talking about what you do with the dead batteries that can't be recycled. That's a problem. That has to be resolved.
And it will be.
And it will be.
All right. That will turn into a business in itself.
All right, Craig. Dale will call you, tell you did a good job.
I know he will.
Have a good day.
You.
Take care. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Ann before we have to take a break. Ann is in Saginaw. Ann, good morning.
Yep. Hi.
Hi.
You talk about the global market all the time. Well, you know what? When Biden took us out of it, he took us out of the global market.
How do you do that?
By cutting off our gas. Cutting off the pipeline and making the companies that are trying to drill more regulations.
He made it more difficult to drill, but he didn't take us out of the global market. It still determines the price.
Saying. You know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we used to be a top producer, and he took us down.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And he has sold his soul to the leftists in this country.
Well, he is one.
What?
So, he is one.
I thought he was a moderate. they
Well,
said.
he's
right.
yeah.
Okay.
I would say this. I would
And
say you're
also-
right about that. I'd say we expected a more moderate president. We didn't
Well,
get
no,
one.
I didn't. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's the other point. The thing is, you keep talking about the same change. This is the same as the horse and buggy and the gasoline engine. It's not, because virtually what he did is when that change took place, it took place gradually. Round up all the horses and shoot them. Okay, that's what he did with his energy
No. Wait a minute now.
plan.
Let's. You have to be realistic in your conversation.
I am realistic.
Electric cars came along before Biden.
So
EVs came along before Biden. They've been
What I'm
around now for
saying
probably. They've been around now for probably 10 years.
you're
You go
not
back to the.
getting it. You're not getting
Boy,
it.
so you
What
want to
I'm
blame
saying is
everything on Biden, and what I'm saying to you is you have to be realistic.
I'm blaming it on the leftists that the green is supreme. In other words,
I
by
understand.
cutting off our production of gasoline and letting it happen gradually, they're putting out dates and times that we have to change over, and that the gasoline engine is not going to be allowed on the roads anymore. I mean, come on.
No, I
They're
don't-
trying to push and push and push.
That's not going to happen. That's my opinion.
Well, I know it's not going to happen, but it isn't the same as the conversion from the horse
Well,
and buggy
all
to
right.
the gasoline
Yeah,
engine.
okay.
Not he made this choice.
We'll agree to
and
disagree.
The leftists made this choice to cut out gas.
We'll agree to disagree on the whether or not it's like the horse and buggy days, because it's a new
Well,
technology and it's just now developing in the
But
same
they're
way that
trying
the
to
automobile
control
was just
every
now
inch of it.
developing.
They're trying to control every inch
Yeah,
of it. and
that
they're
I
forgetting
understand.
That gas and oil is needed to produce the energy producing ways, solar and everything.
Understand, Ann? I'm not I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with your principle. I'm just
Well,
telling
it
you
isn't-
that the EV in its current stage is the same way the automobile was when it was first invented. That's
Well-
all I'm saying. All the other things are in addition.
Yeah, well, and they haven't told us how a 2 and 3 family car family is going to be able to charge all their cars, and they're already rationing what we can do with our
All right.
our air conditioning and how many hours we should use it. They're already trying to regulate it because there isn't enough energy at this point in time, and there won't be for another 5-10 years, if then even. So, these all sound very nice on paper, but
okay.
And like I said, they have put it out there, deadlines, and that is just totally wrong. It's just
All right.
totally wrong.
I
and
got you, Ann.
It can't work.
Got to run, but I appreciate the call. Thank you, dear. Take care. We'll be back.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
We may be in a nationwide appliance shortage, but the Maytag store has appliances in stock and ready to sell. And you've known them for Amana, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, Gladiator, and Genair. But now they've added GE brands, including the GE Profile and Cafe lines, as well as Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove. Shopping on a budget? Well, the Maytag store stocks and sells discounted appliances with minor cosmetic damage, and they come with a full manufacturer's warranty. Check out the available inventory right now at the MaytagStoreUSA.com. Owned since 1946. They service what they sell with their own in-house service department and no third party necessary. They even deliver and install. Visit any of the Maytag store locations in Saginaw at 3800 Tittabawassee Road, in Frankenmuth at 477 North Main Street, or at their outlet store in Shields at 7400. Experience the Maytag store difference today.
The Maytag store.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
We're coming to you this morning from Maple Hill Nursery at 2672 North Eastman Road. That's north of US 10 and about a mile or so just to the north of the Midland Mall, where today it's Outdoor Living Day here at Maple Hill. Everyone's getting ready for spring, and the weather sure feels a lot like spring. So now's the time to get over to Maple Hill, take a look at the furnishings that they have, and good assortment that they have on display. Shipments have been coming in. Folks have been coming in and taking a look at the displays. Some folks have been buying. They've been delivering outdoor units already. And if you need a custom order, they can do that for you as well. Isn't too bad right now. Undoubtedly, it's going to get longer, that waiting period, as you wait until spring or early summer. Now's the time to be checking out, getting the pricing, and setting aside what you want when the weather allows you to be outside. It's all 8 until 6, Monday through Friday, 8 till 4 on Saturday.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show. Oh my gosh, some people are now saying that complaining about gas prices is white privilege.
I thought it was Putin's fault. Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back here on WSGW. And Billy is in Freeland. Billy, good morning.
Hi, I just wanted to quickly respond to Ann's comment.
Yes.
I feel as if people would keep in mind that there is such a thing as climate change, and the whole point of converting from fossil fuels is to preserve our climate, to preserve our way of life. And what have we ever done without a deadline? Getting kicked down the road. So I think the planning is necessary, and it isn't going to be as dire as she says, because there will still be cars which will be grandfathered in, and eventually it'll all work out, just like you say. You know, it's a process, and if in the process, the horse and buggy. So that's my comment.
All right, fair enough. Thanks, Billy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
We had a caller comment. I thought we were a free market economy setting restrictions or due dates. Why doesn't the market decide whether we really want EVs? Well, for now, the market will, because we'll decide if we're going to buy EVs. Apparently, here's the reality now, apparently we want EVs. Ask the Ford Motor Company if they sold out or oversold their production of their Lightning pickup truck. They did. More orders than they can produce right now. EVs are the wave of the future, whether we like it or not. You may not want one. But if we say the marketplace is deciding before government forces us to, the reality is an awful lot of people want these EVs. They are selling. Tesla sells everything they can make, and they're not cheap. So right now, anyway, those that can afford it are stepping up to the plate and buying EVs. The day will come when the manufacturers produce EVs that we can all afford. General Motors has already said they're going to produce an Equinox equivalent, an electric Equinox in the 20s. And you will see a rush to those vehicles. Steve is in Bay City. Steve, good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you today, sir?
We're doing well.
I just heard all this talk about the tree huggers and whatnot. I got thinking about it. When I was a kid, I used to use the old-fashioned 50s push lawnmower. No, didn't cost nothing, didn't take nothing. But then now, I guess the biggest question is, and great as my mind is, now everybody's buying these battery-operated ones. You know, and it takes the coal to fuel the electricity and whatnot to charge that battery. You know, so I just little peace of mind for the day. You know.
Well, there is the concern about how we're going to generate enough energy to supply the electricity if we all go electric. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And the other concern is what to do with the batteries that aren't recyclable yet. I think the day will come when they will figure out how to recycle. But right now, anyway, you're not. That push lawnmower, you've got that Ego or whatever it is, Easy Go mower that's electric. When that battery dies, you throw it out. So that's got to be resolved.
But will there be an impact on the environment, though?
Yeah, eventually it will. If they don't figure it out, there will be.
That recycles them, or?
Yeah, eventually, if you don't figure it out, there will be. No two ways about it.
Okay, fair enough.
Good enough. Steve, thanks a lot.
Fair enough.
Bye-bye now. And our last caller is going to be John in Freeland. John, got about a minute and a half. Go ahead. John.
Yeah, Art, I was just calling on the everything electric. Yeah, Art, you got me?
Yeah, go ahead, quickly.
Art? Okay, yeah, Art. Hey, I was in the Home Depot last night, and I seen some of their electric riding mowers, zero turns.
Yep.
And they were about $2,300 more than the gasoline.
Yep.
It's like, oh my gosh, the gasoline went up $400, but I mean, I don't know. It's, you know, I think they're just getting the cart before the horse here. They should figure things out before they.
Well, yeah, but it's like, you know, listen, it's like most products. They come on the market, they're expensive when they're new, and then they start to go down in price. And I think eventually you're going to find all these electric things will go down in price. But right now, anyway, yeah, if you're the first one to the market, it's expensive. Hey, I got to run because I'm out of time, John, but thanks for calling. I appreciate it. We'll be back to close out the hour after this.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungeredInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name's Joe Cordell. Sometimes in divorce, courts require the higher earner to pay to the other party what's called spousal support or alimony. Usually this order can be modified in certain circumstances, but such modifications are often complicated and are best entrusted to attorneys that are well acquainted with such matters. At Cordell & Cordell, that's our business. Remember, you're not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
The Art Lewis Show, weekday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We're going to move on to focus on Roofmaxx. We'll talk to Ben from Roofmaxx coming up after the news. That'll be CBS News at the top of the hour, the world and international news, and then the state and regional news follows that, our local report here on WSGW. I'm Art Lewis, and we'll be back to talk to you right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Stacey Lynn on Capitol Hill, where in front of Congress, Ukrainian President Zelensky described what his country has been going through for the past 3 weeks.
Russian troops have already fired nearly 1,000 missiles at Ukraine, countless bombs. They use drones to kill us with precision.
He made a strong plea to the U.S. and the world.
Is this a lot to ask for, to create a no-fly zone over Ukraine to save people?
He spoke directly to the American people.
I have a dream. These words are known to each of you. Today I can say, I have a need. I need to protect our sky. I need your help.
And directly to President Biden.
You are the leader of the nation. I wish you to be the leader of the world. Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
Now with more on the crisis, here's Steve Kathan.
Well, both sides say Ukraine peace talks are progressing. CBS's Charlie D'Agata has the latest on the fighting from the capital, Kyiv.
I'm Steve.
The conflict has intensified and it has accelerated in the past 36 hours or so. Not just here in Kyiv, but as President Zelensky pointed out, Mariupol, Kharkiv, Sumy, and now the suburbs of Kyiv itself. And we've had bombardments here. Less overnight than we had the night before, but we're in the middle of a 35-hour curfew that ends tomorrow morning, which is an indicator of how dangerous it has become around here.
There's been a magnitude 7.3 earthquake off northern Japan. Tsunami warnings have gone up in some places. 9 people killed north of Odessa, Texas, after a pickup collided head-on with a bus carrying the University of the Southwest's golf teams. Among the dead, 6 students. In the pandemic, CBS's Nikki Batiste says scientists are keeping an eye now on the Omicron subvariant.
BA2 is about 30% more transmissible than Omicron and now makes up nearly a quarter of new infections among Americans. But it does not appear to be more severe. And so far, U.S. daily cases and hospitals continue to drop while deaths plateau.
The Fed's expected to raise interest rates for the first time since 2018 today. James Moore, CEO of the Washington Institute for Business and Government.
We've never seen anything quite like this. To go from a pandemic to go to the critical crisis that's going on right now in Europe. And these sanctions that have been placed on Russia are going to create havoc in and of themselves for us.
And right now on Wall Street, the Dow's up 392. This news.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Keep the Saginaw Children's Zoo in mind while you're shopping for special gifts this year. Visit our website to purchase a membership. Make it a wild year and bring a gift from the zoo to your little ones. Stay connected to what's happening at the Saginaw Children's Zoo on our website at saginawzoo.com.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you do?
Straight Talk Wireless now has the new iPhone 13 cinematic mode, which lets you focus on what matters. And with Straight Talk, you can focus on getting the best deal. Our Silver Unlimited plan is just $45 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. And it runs on the largest, most dependable networks. Now with nationwide 5G. With the iPhone 13 on Straight Talk, you can share whatever you want, wherever you want. Straight Talk Wireless. Available at Walmart. 5G-capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? Often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Live and 790 Newsroom. This is WSGW News.
It's 37 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Lynn Williams. Help could be on the way for veterans and their families exposed to toxic PFAS chemicals at military bases. Michigan Congressman Dan Kildee says he's reintroducing legislation to expand access to health benefits and care. Kildee says some health conditions related to exposure include ailments like high cholesterol, ulcerative colitis, thyroid disease, testicular cancer, and kidney cancer, along with pregnancy-induced hypertension. He says it won't be easy to get this bill passed into law, but he believes it is the right thing to do for veterans. The Michigan Supreme Court has overturned a murder conviction in Genesee County because the judge barred the public from the trial. The court says Judge Jeffrey Nethercutt violated the rights of Donald Davis Jr. Nethercutt cleared the courtroom after ending Davis's trial, asked a juror during a break if she worked at Hurley Hospital. Nethercutt later said his order was poorly worded and that he should have said, "Don't come back today." No one watched the trial over several days except for the mother of the shooting victim. Davis will get a new trial. A batch of COVID tests are being recalled after fears they are producing false results. The recall has been issued by Lucise Laboratories for its saliva antigen nasal antigen test and another antibody test. And the FDA says the company has provided enough evidence that the test can be inaccurate, so there is a high risk of false negative or false positive result. The test for distribution was distributed, that is, between June 2020 and July 2021 for use at home and in labs. WSGW News Time is 11:07.
We may be in a nationwide appliance shortage, but the Maytag store stock and ready to sell. They carry all the great brands you've known them for: Amana, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, Gladiator, and Genair. But now they've added GE brands, including the GE Profile and Cafe lines, as well as Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove. Shopping on a budget? Well, the Maytag store stocks and sells discounted appliances with minor cosmetic damage, and they come with a full manufacturer's warranty. Check out the available inventory right now at the MaytagStoreUSA.com. The Maytag store has been locally owned since 1946. They service what they sell with their own in-house service department and no third party necessary. They even deliver and install. Visit any of the Maytag store locations in Saginaw at 3800 Tittabawassee Road, in Frankenmuth at 477 North Main Street, or at their outlet store in Shields at 7400 Gratiot Road. Experience the difference today.
The Maytag Store. WSGW News Time is 11:08. A Michigan congressman has tested positive for COVID-19. In a statement online, officials with Congressman Fred Upton's office say he tested positive after taking a test. Upton is fully vaccinated and boosted. He is experiencing mild symptoms. Any motorist who has filled up lately could be forgiven for wincing in disbelief. Fueled largely by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, gas prices worldwide have skyrocketed. In the U.S., they've reached record highs above $4.30 a gallon. That's 50% or $1.43 per gallon more than they were a year ago. But there are steps you can take to make an old car, truck, or SUV perform better, go farther, and perhaps keeping tires properly inflated, making sure fluids and filters are changed, coasting up to stoplights, and shutting off the engine if it's idling for more than a minute are among the actions you can take. Modernizing the cottage food industry in Michigan is the focus of legislation. State Representative Annette Glenn of Midland is co-sponsoring. The House Agriculture Committee has approved the legislation, which has moved on to the House floor for further consideration. The cottage food industry involves small businesses, usually operated out of home kitchens by one person, that sell their products at places like farmers markets or church bazaars. Glenn says her legislation would make it easier for people in that industry.
We want these hardworking and very creative people to be able to start a business, stay in business, grow, and thrive right here in Michigan.
Legislation would make changes in regulations such as raising the sales cap from $25,000 annually to $40,000, allowing sales by mail or online, establish an optional registration system. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Ann Williams.
Here is your WSGW Weatherology forecast. For today, we'll see partly sunny skies across the area with a high temperature into the upper 50s and wind staying to the southwest at about 5 to 10. For later on tonight, we'll see cloudy conditions with a low temperature around 42 and wind staying to the south between 10 and 15. For Thursday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a high temperature of 62 and winds from the southwest. Later on Thursday night, we'll see a chance of light rain, otherwise cloudy conditions with a low temperature of 38. I'm meteorologist Nick Carlisle with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Right now it's 42.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Good morning to you. Welcome back. It's another edition of Focus on WSGW. I'm Art Lewis from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. Focus brought to you by Roofmaxx, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about Roofmaxx online at roofmaxx.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's Roofmaxx with 2 X's. And as it happens, Roofmaxx is the subject of focus today, and we say good morning to Ben.
Morning, Ed. How are you doing today?
Hey, we're doing well. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for asking.
It's the weather looks like it's going to turn favorable for you to start thinking about getting up on roofs. So let's talk about Roofmaxx. First of all, I think as an overview, tell everybody what Roofmaxx is.
Yep. So Roofmaxx is a safe, affordable, and effective way to extend the life of your shingles by treating them with the Roofmaxx product. Roofmaxx enhances the asphalt in the shingle, rehydrates the asphalt, and extends the life of them by bringing back the flexibility and waterproof ability to the shingles.
So what happens to the shingles? I mean, they're up there in the weather, obviously. When we buy shingles, we're told they're 25-year, whatever the years are. What happens to them, and do they ever last as long as we're told they will?
Typically, they don't. There's a lot of factors that play into how long the shingles last, as far as venting and exposure to sun and shade and everything else. But the shingles have a petrol oil in them that comes from when they create or manufacture the shingles. And as they age over time, that petrol oil evaporates out. The shingles begin to get brittle. They start losing that stony top coat. The granules start to shed off, which lets more UV into the shingle and dries it out even faster. So Roofmaxx rehydrates those shingles and adds a back into the shingle and tries to bring that flexibility and waterproof ability back to like new status.
So, when we talk about shingles, I mean, there's all kinds out there. What does Roofmaxx work on? It's designed specifically for one type or another?
Yeah, so it covers most of the spectrum of shingles, but they need to have an asphalt component to the shingle. There are some shingles out there. A lot of them have failed and are gone now. It's an organic shingle. It's not going to be as effective on those. But it needs to have an asphalt core to the shingle, so that's what we look for. Rubber roofing, but it's specifically for an asphalt shingle.
So let's say I have an asphalt shingle roof. Let's say maybe it was put on maybe 5 years ago. We'll pick a number. At what point in time do I have to worry about those shingles drying out and contacting you to come and put Roofmaxx on?
Typically, we would start doing treatments between the 8 and 12-year point as far as age of the roof. One thing, a good telltale sign that the roof's starting to dry out is you'll start to see granules collecting in your gutters. There is a granular shed after roof. Granules from transportation and stuff are going to shed off. But after a few years, your gutters have been cleaned out a couple times, you start noticing those granules building up. that's a good indication that the shingle's starting to dry out and we'd want to start treating. But typically we don't start till 8 to 12 years old. And then we treat out based on a few qualifying factors such as granule retention and flexibility and stuff like that to treat the shingles.
All right, so let's say I'm a homeowner with an asphalt roof, but I hadn't heard of Roofmaxx till now, and my roof is 20 years old. Can I still do it?
Most likely. At 20 years old, typically we can still treat roofs. So we'd have to come out and do an assessment, make sure it does qualify for treatment. Last year we treated a roof that I believe is 32, 33 years old, the home roof. So it depends on the quality of the shingle and how it's aging. But yeah, if you have any questions, we're happy to come out.
Yeah, what do you look for when you go up on a roof? What do you look for? What's the determinant as to whether or not Roofmaxx will work?
We look for how many granules are still embedded in the shingle. There's a percentage that we look to stay within a certain range. Roofmaxx is still effective, even if a lot of the granules are gone. It'll soften up the asphalt core of the shingle and bring back the flexibility and help the waterproof ability, but it's not going to last as long because it doesn't have that UV protection of the granules. Another big thing we look for is the decking on the roof. If the decking's failing or failed or has got some leaks and it's rotted out, our Roofmaxx isn't going to solve the decking issue. So we look for those things and make sure that Roofmaxx, we don't want to waste time and money doing a treatment if it's not going to be right for our customers.
All right, so if I have a roof that's Roofmaxx ready, it meets the qualifications, what's the procedure? How long does it take you to come out and treat that roof?
Yeah, so we start off with a roof tune-up. We do general maintenance on the roof, check where your pipes come through the roof. There's a rubber gasket. We put new gaskets on the flash kits. Check all your caulking, flashing, just get all the maintenance that doesn't always get done, caught back up to where it needs to be. Then we do our spray-on application. It's a high-volume, low-pressure spray, so it's not going to damage the shingles. And typical application time is about 2 hours. Depends on the stuff like that. But,
and how safe is it?
It's a 100% natural organic product, so it's a bio-preferred product, so it's not going to hurt your plants or pets or your family members. Any overspray that gets anything, we can rinse off, and it's not going to cause problems to your home or family.
All right, hang on. We'll come back and talk more after the break. We're talking to Ben at Roofmaxx, and you can chat with him at 989-859-6751. We will be back with Ben. We'll also hear from Terry Henney after these notes.
This is your time for a good time. Now go live your life to the funnest. Leave boring behind and come to the place made for nonstop action and excitement. Saginaw Eagles Landing, where winning big at all your favorite games, tasty bites, and comfy nights all come together. The possibilities are endless, and so is the fun. It's all here, waiting just for you. So come on, Michigan, let your fun out. Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with Roofmaxx, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
As a Blue Cross Medicare member, you can expect access to care as soon as you need it. You can schedule appointments for checkups or routine care at a time that's convenient for you. You can also call our customer service team to ask for information and get the help you need. With Blue Cross, it's easy to get the care, tests, or treatment you need whenever you need them. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every call. Or visit bcbsm.com/senior options.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
This morning, we're at Maple Hill Nursery in Midland, where it is Outdoor Living Week here at Maple Hill Nursery. At Maple Hill Nursery and outdoor living is something that a lot of folks really take advantage of as we move into spring. And with weather like we're experiencing today and will tomorrow, spring can't really be too far away. Officially, it's on the calendar for Sunday, but many of you know that when the weather is nice, you want to get outdoors and you want to enjoy the outdoors. Now, if you're looking for outdoor furnishings, this they have a huge selection on display right now. And if you do want a custom order, you can do it and get reasonable timing when it comes to the delivery. You should be able to have your product delivered as we move into the summer months. Pricing, that's another thing. You definitely want to take advantage of the pricing right now, because as everything happens, you get a little bit closer to summer, the prices undoubtedly will be going up. Selection is excellent right now. So stop on by Maple Hill Nursery, Monday through Friday, 8 till 6, Saturdays, 8 till 4.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we're back with you here on Focus, talking to Ben from Roofmaxx of Midland. And Ben, I started out talking about the fact that temperature is getting better. At what temperature do you need to go up and apply Roofmaxx?
Temperature needs to be above 36 degrees, so we usually shoot for around 40 as our lower limit. And the roof needs to be dry. That's one of the critical points. So we want to make sure the roof's dry when the application gets put on.
All right, let's talk about some of the things happening in the world now. Supply chain issues. Has that impacted Roofmaxx at all?
Fortunately, Roofmaxx really hasn't been impacted too much. Our product comes out of Columbus, Ohio, so we don't have a hard time getting it. We can get it pretty quickly to our shop in Midland here. But as far as the shingles, we do a lot of shingle repair on the roofs that we treat. That's a pretty common thing that we run into, and we have had a hard time finding the right color shingles or the enough quantity to do repairs, because there's been some supply chain issues on the shingle side for sure.
Wow. All the more reason to keep them in good shape, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about condo owners? Roofmaxx work on a condo?
Yeah. A handful of condo associations we've worked with and treated a few of them, and it's been a huge help from the feedback I've gotten to kind of extend their budgets out and help them catch up. A lot of them get quotes to get their places replaced, and they're pretty shocked by the numbers they're seeing when they look at their budget, what they've saved up and what the real world numbers are. Usually they're not quite aligned like they were hoping. So we can help them extend the life of their shingles on their condos and kind of get their budgets back aligned so they can be ready for replacement when that time comes.
All right, I want to talk for a minute. Let's say I call you and I say, okay, Ben, I want you to come out and give me an assessment. What happens? What do you do?
Yeah, so we'll collect some of your information so we can put you into our scheduling and estimate software, and then we'll schedule a time to come out and we'll walk the roof, make sure it qualifies for treatment, and take some measurements, get a price put together for you. I know some people aren't as comfortable with having us in or around the home, so that we can do, not in all cases, but a lot of cases where we can do some measuring with some satellite imagery and get some numbers that way. So we try to find some ways to make everybody as comfortable as possible.
Does the pitch of the roof have any importance in terms of Roofmaxx?
Pitch isn't such a big deal. When we get into some of the really steep roofs or some of the barn style roofs where they've got a really steep side and a flatter top, we just have a different spraying technique and procedure we follow on the steeper roofs to make sure that we get the holding time required for Roofmaxx to penetrate properly.
Yeah, that then runoff would be a problem then, right? You have to spray.
Correct.
So you don't
want to
get
watch the runoff.
Yeah, and
so what happens when the runoff, if they don't have gutters, they collect the runoff. We'll water down the area, and then we'll rinse everything off really well for the runoff to make sure that we don't have any buildup of product. But again, it's not going to hurt your grass or your plants or anything like that.
So for the average size home, we'll just pick an average. Let's say 2,000 square feet. All right, the average home with the average roof. How long do I expect the Roofmaxx crew to be at my place doing the work?
On a 2,000 square foot home, now you want to remember, we get this question a lot. Your house may be 2,000 square feet, but your roof is probably bigger than that. You've got overhangs to think of. You've got a pitch that you got to factor into.
Yeah.
And sometimes that square footage doesn't include your garage. But typically about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, depending on how much tune-up work we have to do and prep and to kind of get set up.
All right. So let's say my roof is 10, 12 years old, and I call Roofmaxx and say, come on out, spray my roof. You do that. How long does that last before I have to think about doing it again? And can I do it again?
Yeah, great question. is going to add 5 to 7 years onto your roof. There's a 5-year warranty that comes with each treatment. So at that 5-year mark, after we do the initial treatment, we'll come out again. There's a couple of tests we can do to see if the shingle's ready for another treatment. If it's ready at that time, we'll present the homeowners with the price to respray, which we're anticipating and hoping will be similar to what it was the first time. If we want to move forward with it, we can do a second treatment. If it's not quite ready, we'll put them on a schedule to come back out a year or 2 years later and check to see if it's ready, and then treat it again. And we can do it up to 3 times, adding 15 to 20 years extra life to the roof.
What happens after the third time that you can't do it again?
So there's some real, the corporate side of it. It's a kind of like a franchise type setup. So there's a corporate side to Roofmaxx that creates the product and does the research and development in partnership with Battelle Labs and the Ohio Saving Council. So they don't have enough data back to know if we can go more than 3 treatments currently. So we're allowed to advertise and to do up to 3 treatments currently. And if the data comes back, we can add a 4th or a 5th.
Ah, so it's in the works.
The truth, but
yeah,
it's in the works. Yep. So we're not promising that, or I'm not even saying that's an option yet, but we're hopeful that someday that will be an option.
All right. So let's tell homeowners how they can get in touch with you and find out more information.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can call me direct. My direct line, call Ben, is 989-859-6755 to getroofmaxx.com. That's Roofmaxx with 2 X's.
You got it. Well, Ben, listen, first of all, thanks for sponsoring Focus, and thanks for joining us today. It's always interesting to chat with you.
Yeah, it's great to be on, and it's a pleasure to help out all the local businesses in the Mid-Michigan area.
All right, my friend. We'll talk to you again.
Yeah, you have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Ben at Roofmaxx, our program sponsored by Roofmaxx. You can find out more by calling him at 989-859-6751, or remember, it's roofmaxx.com, as he said, with 2 X's. And we'll be back to close out after this.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make.